Hey guys, what's going on? Space Cowboy here. Welcome back to the channel. I have another Mock Draft Monday for you guys today. We're back to Mock Draft Mondays after a week off. Wanted to see if the Cowboys were going to do anything regarding Dak Prescott, see if they were going to do any movements. Of course, I was correct in my assessment in that they wouldn't do anything, but with all that being said, the show must go on with these mock drafts to kind of see what I think the Cowboys can do given where we're at right now. And things will definitely change, especially as they get guys in free agency, people leave, people get cut, all that stuff. So before I go any further, if you guys could, by all means, leave a like on this video. If you haven't done so already, by all means, subscribe. If you are new, about 90 to 95% of you guys watching are not subscribed, so I recommend you do that so you don't miss out on new content when it drops, and hit the notification bell along with it so that you get notified when that content drops. Before I also go any further, I do want to give a tremendous shout out to all of you guys that have been liking, sharing, and subscribing to the page. We've reached over 7,000 subscribers. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. I'm extremely thankful for the opportunity you guys have given me to watch me, share me, and all the kind stuff. I'm super excited to continue this and continue this YouTube journey as we inch closer and closer to 10,000. So that's the goal, but I don't think we'll get there anytime soon, but, you know, we'll see. So, with all that being said, thank you guys so much. Let's get into this mock draft. So, this has been my most interesting mock draft, mainly due to the fact of a lot of curveballs that got thrown in here. Not only did Penei Sewell and Rashawn Slater go before pick 10, we also saw Caleb Farley and J.C. Horn go in the top picks before we picked, which I've never seen happen. In case you're wondering exactly what happened, of course the Bengals took Penei Sewell. The Eagles took Rashawn Slater. Then the Panthers and the Broncos went cornerback. Caleb Farley went 8 to Carolina. And then at 9, the Broncos took J.C. Horn. I've never seen J.C. Horn go that high before, but I digress. With the 10th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, in this specific mock draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Patrick Surtain, the second cornerback out of Alabama. Look, I completely understand the situation regarding Patrick Surtain in terms of his criticisms and his pros, stuff like that. For me, the base way of describing him as simply as possible, he is the pro-ready guy that you can take and plug into your defense, and he will be a solid starter for you. In terms of his ceiling, I don't know how high he can go, but I think that when you take him and you have Trevon Diggs alongside him, I think him and Trevon Diggs will be a fantastic pairing. Will it be something that will have like tremendous effects on the defense? I don't know. I think that's more so something we need to improve with the defensive line and the linebacking core in terms of their play and efficiency at their positions. But I think by getting a guy in Patrick Surtain, given who else is on the board, and considering I had no really good trade offers, I think he's the best ready guy that you could take and plug in, and he'll be a solid starter for you. But I do have questions about a couple things with him, but I think that ultimately he should be fine for what you're getting. Next, we move into round 2. Now, in round 2, I was just hoping that we can still land Richie Grant, because in a couple of practice mock drafts I was doing before this one, a lot of the times he would go into the late 30s after the first round and early 40s before we picked. But in this draft, with the 44th overall pick, in this draft, the Cowboys took Richie Grant, safety out of UCF. I love this guy in terms of a prospect. I think he's the best safety in the draft. I took him so many times in my mock drafts. I have no need to introduce him. I think he can be that guy that you can, bring him in. You can put him next to Donovan Wilson, and I think that you solve your safety issue. I think the Cowboys really need to invest in that position. It doesn't have to be a first-round pick. It just needs to be a premium talent at the position. We haven't had that for such a long time, and it's time they address it. I don't have to go any further than that. Richie Grant's the pick, and I don't know if he makes it there, but if he does, you have to take him. He's definitely going to be the first safety that gets taken. Now, we move into the third round. Now, the Cowboys have 2 third-round picks in this draft. They have a compensatory third because of Byron Jones, and then they have their regular third-round pick. So, with the 75th overall selection in this mock draft, the Cowboys selected Amari Rodgers, wide receiver out of Clemson. Now, some of you guys might be saying, why don't you go with a defensive tackle? We need that. Why don't you go with this, that, or a third? Here's the thing. We have Michael Gallup entering the final year of his contract, and honestly, I don't know what they're going to do with either Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown. I think that if you can bring back one of those guys, not Michael Gallup, but more specifically either Cedric Wilson or Noah Brown, it helps you out there. I think that if it were me, I would prefer to have Cedric Wilson. This is my personal opinion. But ultimately, you get a guy in Amari Rodgers where he really did well at the Senior Bowl. I really liked what he was able to do at the Senior Bowl, and I think that he's definitely a value in the third round to where you can be like, okay, I can definitely see myself, flipping him into my new Michael Gallup replacement. And let me just be emphatically clear. Like, I don't want people to think I hate Michael Gallup. It's just you got to think about it. The Cowboys are not going to pay Michael Gallup. That is a given. So for me, you need to take a guy. I'm not saying it has to be specifically that third round selection, but you need to get a receiver that can be that cheap young guy that you can have along CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. I think Amari Cooper is your right now main guy. I think with CeeDee Lamb, he's going to end up being your future one, but he's currently your 2. And with Michael Gallup on the verge of leaving, I think that you either have to flip him for a pick this year rather than waiting for the following year in 2023 to get a comp pick for him. I don't know, but you don't pay. I would like to keep Gallup, but for me personally, you don't pay number 2s or 1As or 1Bs that type of money. Like, I want to pay Michael Gallup $15 million. If he was willing to go cheaper, by all means. But I don't need to go any further than this. Amari Rodgers is the pick, given the value. He's the best player on the board. Then with the 99th overall selection in this draft, it might change because it's a compensatory pick. The Dallas Cowboys selected Marvin Wilson, interior defensive lineman, defensive tackle, whatever you want to refer to it as, out of Florida State. Now, I took him in another mock draft that I had, and I've explained basically that I think that he's honestly one of the better interior defensive line prospects, especially if you can get him in that spot. I think what's important for the Cowboys here is they continue to draft young defensive linemen. You can't do that enough. That and offensive linemen. I think that knowing the Cowboys in this draft, they're not going to take an offensive lineman, mainly due to the fact that they believe that they're fine. And I can understand that. But I still feel like you can go get a guy, especially if they're there. But I think that getting a guy in Marvin Wilson, you get another young prospect to build around. And honestly, this is where, you might be saying, well, why would you take a guy like if we could bring back a Gerald McCoy? Now, for me, I would prefer we get a Dalvin Tomlinson and we just boogie with who we have, so then I don't have to take him and I can go take another guy. But knowing the Cowboys, they won't do that. So we'll just see what happens. Now, overall, I think that this was a pretty good draft with all things considered. I want to see what you guys did down below with the first 3 picks. Or rather first 4 picks, the first 3 rounds in this draft, to really see, what you guys are thinking in terms of what you want the Cowboys to do. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this mock draft. I can't wait to do the next one, so by all means, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you so much for reaching the end of this video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.